For years, Iran's economy has struggled under the weight of international economic sanctions. From devalued currency to high inflation, life has been anything but easy for the average Iranian. Many are working 2 or more jobs. My colleague Asieh Namdar was granted an exclusive interview with the head of Iran's central bank. Here is her report.
Iranians have been living under sanctions for decades. Still, since 2000, the economy grew. From 2000 to 2011, Iran's gross domestic product per capita climbed by more than 350%, but it peaked in 2011 and has fallen ever since. At the same time, inflation has remained high, leading to an ever-increasing cost of living for most Iranians. The governor of the Central Bank of Iran says the country's president, Hassan Rouhani, is working to lift the nation out of its economic troubles.
It's not true that all these adverse implications and developments in Iran is related to sanctions. Even before the government of President Rouhani take office, we were experiencing recession, high inflation. Government of President Rouhani changed the situation completely. Inflation expectations were curtailed and expectations for future improved. We adopted appropriate monetary and fiscal policies, and the fiscal discipline and monetary discipline caused the inflation rate to fall from 40%, the level it had before the government take office, to around 15% last year.
So you're saying there have been improvements. Are those improvements translating for the teachers of Iran, for the taxi drivers of Iran, for people who have to have 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet?
The people who have lost all sense of stability because of high rates of inflation might say that we are not yet feeling lower rate of inflation. That is because they expect prices to drop, and they make this synonymous with fall in inflation. Fall in inflation, of course, means that the rate of increase in the prices has dropped. Of course, the fact that we have prevented irrational fluctuations has brought calm to the life of the people, and this is quite easily felt in the populations these days.
Valiollah Seif says Iran's economy will continue to improve no matter what happens in the nuclear negotiations. Governor Seif, I know you are a banking expert. You know about economics, you know about money, you know about finances. But I'd like to ask you a hypothetical question. If you and I were sitting here a year from now, where do you foresee Iran's economy, the situation of the working class, inflation, the value of Iran's currency, rial? Where do you see things in 1 year from now?
I'm confident that our economy is in the right track. We have had big achievements. We have a highly educated young population. We are sure that we can create capacities in the economy which would make situation in the future much better than it is. I have given you our projections for inflation in 2 years, in 2 years' time, to bring it down into single digits. This may not be achieved in the next year, but we are pretty confident that we will be able to bring inflation down into single digits in 2 years.
And finally, my last question, Governor Seif. What is your message, if you had to deliver a message to young Iranian people, bright, educated, many have left Iran for better opportunities overseas. What is your message to the young Iranian people who are still there, cannot find jobs,
What is your message to them? Many of these young people are running out of hope, sir.
I'm
sure that we have the potentials and attraction to encourage Iranians who have immigrated overseas to return back to their country. There are many such people in Europe and the United States. Some have high-ranking positions. I know some of them who have been classmates, my classmates. It's good to have these people back in our country so that they could put their services, put their capacities at the service of their own country.